Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 8 of the F124 Driver Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the duel in the Formula 1 crown. It's time for the Monaco Grand Prix. Yes, officially that also means that we have managed to catch IRL Formula 1 up. It's taken us less than a week, so hopefully you guys are still enjoying the daily content as well. They're of course trying to hit 130,000 subs at the moment, so please do make sure you get yourself subscribed to the channel if you are new around here. And heading into this weekend though, we are going to keep the power unit consultant in terms of our main specialist and having a look at our driver rating graph. We're making pretty good progress. We're almost driver ranking 71 now, so we're starting to do quite well against some of our rivals as well in the championship. Hulkenberg, yeah, we've comfortably had the better of him so far. Logan Sargent, it seems to have been a bit of a fairer fight. Can we do any more upgrades on the car though before we head into the Principality this weekend? I think, oh, there we go. We can do one more, which should be on the car after the Canadian Grand Prix. So trying to get as many upgrades in as we can. Still ahead of Alpine and Visa Cash App at the moment. Championship-wise, of course, Verstappen is clear out in front. 76-point lead. But we've got a huge opportunity this weekend to try and score some big points.
It's the jewel in the crown. Simply put, there is nowhere quite like Monaco, and it's all about finding your groove from the beginning of the very first practice session here at the tightest and twistiest circuit of them all.
Well, there is no greater venue in my mind for getting a lap hooked up than at the Monaco Grand Prix circuit. As we head out into free practice, of course, we've got to make sure we get as many laps as we possibly can out on the venue to carry that confidence into qualifying. I've seen some lap records by, you know, top esports drivers and things like that. Absolutely hilarious around this venue, the lines they have to take. You won't see any of them here, though, simply because I'm just not that good as some of those other drivers as well. But as we make our way, though, through to back, really difficult, actually, to be precise with the car. I'm running pretty much maxed out wing. And we're still struggling to kind of get the vehicle rotated where I need it. Oh yeah, building up more and more confidence in the car, just now knowing what to expect from it. That is going to be a green score at the end of the second run. Like I said, normally free practice here, so important. If you do it on one track on this game, make sure it is Monaco. Ugh! What on earth was that? I've never seen anything like that before. I didn't even know that was possible. But clearly, either we're the luckiest human ever, or I phased through Bottas there, because he completely took me by surprise as he made his way out the pit lane. I think, yeah, we must have phased through him.
Not all qualifying sessions are created equal. From the moment that a driver sits in a go-kart, they want to end up here, in the pit lane, ready and raring for qualifying at the Monaco Grand Prix.
Really want to try and have a good weekend here. Really want to try and get ourselves into that Q3, I believe, for the first time since Saudi Arabia. But obviously, you've got to be careful with the overtake mode. I'm actually going to try and do 2 laps back-to-back here in Q1. Just make sure we're geared up and fully ready. So this first one's going to be sort of more of a build lap. The second lap, if the tyres are still there, we're going to continue to try and push on more and more. But yeah, I love just doing laps around here. I love say, I know you guys in the past have said about as well, obviously, about being able to try and commentate and do laps around this circuit. It is not easy, but that's what makes Monaco special. Well, so far then, this first lap's not felt bad, but we won't really know how we're doing until we get back up to that start-finish line second time round. I'm going to try and wind it up a little bit more. They're only in 11-1. That would certainly not be good enough to see us into Q2. So let's try and see what we can do immediately. 2 tenths up through the first corner, use some of that battery up the hill. Carrying a lot more speed, though, up into Massenet and Casino Square there. Keep it tidy, avoid the oversteer on the exit. And then braking just at that yellow railing on the outside so far. This second lap feels a little bit better there. Get the car hooked up over the curb. Feel it pop up on just 3 wheels momentarily. Then using the curve as well through lower Mirabeau. 3.5 tenths up at the moment, 4 tenths up. As we make our way through the tunnel, we're going to use the battery right up until we get blinded by the sunlight, and then you spot your braking point down into the chicane there. Keep it out the wall on the exit, it will really catch you out. And now to back, down 1 gear, flick it in, that felt good. The car really now starting to come alive with low fuel. We're down to last place at the moment, but I'm not interested, Mark. What is this? Drive to survive? Talking on a qualifying lap. One more corner to go, though. Almost a second up on our first run there. That is what I mean about building the confidence up here in Monaco. And that is only good enough still for P12. I thought we would get more. Oh, we've just about made it into the green, but still we are getting closer and closer to the drop zone there. I think we might just about safely make it through. P14 still ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. Was not a particularly good line through the final couple of corners. We are going to find another 10th, though, to boost our safety. It is through. It is P12 in Q1. And there we go. Max Verstappen, fastest of anybody, but only 6/10 behind the Red Bull there. I would love to try and get a lap time in the 109s. Nico Hülkenberg slowest on the board in the end. He'll go out in Q1 alongside Sergeant Bottas as well, as a big surprise. And both of those Alpines making it into Q3, though, here is going to be really, really tough. It's basically dependent on what time Lance Stroll does. Well, only one set of fresh tyres as we make our way into Q2, so now we've really got to make it count here. Got to try and get the lap on the board there as we almost hit the wall on the inside of Anthony Noakes before we even get the lap started. We need to aim for a 109 here. Sub 70 seconds around Monaco is absolutely ridiculous, quicker than anyone has ever achieved IRL. I would love to have seen the 2020 Mercedes making its way around this venue there, but just leaving a little bit on the table through that first sector. We still go purple, though, so clearly the car working more and more as the track continues to ramp up there. We've got so much extra rotation now through the hairpin. So far, has this lap been more special? Use the battery as we make our way down through the tunnel. Yeah, it's always difficult to tell until you get right to the end of the lap, unless... Oh, no!
Are you alright? Engine off, engine off.
So stupid. And I've gone and done a Lance Stroll. I cannot believe that. Cannot believe that. Pushing on in our final lap here in Q2. Our only lap in Q2. There was no point going out on a scrub set of tyres there and just lock the rears on the way in. Nothing we can do. And that is our Haas car in big, big damage. Well, taking a look then at our Q2 results for Verstappen, top of the board there ahead of Sainz and Charles Leclerc. So it'll be interesting to see if Ferrari can get a jump on the Dutchman before the end of qualifying. But Alex Albon making it through into Q3 there, a fantastic effort by him. It would have been mighty close for us. If we were improving, it was on. But yeah, we line up P15 on the grid here in Monaco. We have got to make moves now in the scariest part, that being during the race.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but we still race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There is no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of 19 corners, so don't expect to see much overtaking here today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Fernando Alonso alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Hamilton, Stroll, Norris, Albon, Ricciardo, Joe, Tsunoda, Mr. Monaco, Ocon, Gasly, Bottas, Sargent, Hülkenberg, and Oscar Piastri. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And so we welcome you to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me for this race, and it's going to be some race, is Anthony Davidson. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd, and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, you know, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
We're not in the best position to get another points finish, so try and use the first lap to your advantage and make up places.
Is Mark telling me to attempt heroics into Sandavot? Only time will tell. But yeah, Oscar Piastri, an absolute nightmare weekend for him. Starting at the rear of the field, he has got his work cut out. But the game wanted me to start on hards. That's not the way I want to do things here. We need the grip at the start of the race. And also, shout-outs to the guy that comments on every single video, hoping that Fernando Alonso is going to win a race. This has got to be his best shot of the season so far. So if he does it today, then fair play, sir. I'm saying it was your doing. But lining up P14 on the grid then, looks like we have got split strategies from cars around me. So we need a good start. 5 red lights. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go there. And immediately thought we had the grip over a few of the other drivers, but apparently not. So we have a look to the outside, down towards turn 1. We'll get past 1, maybe even 2 there, if we can beat Zhou Guanyu in a drag race up the hill. Of course, still speculation that we could be taking his seat in the near future as we try and have a look down the inside through Massenet and Casino squared to the outside. There we go. I think he just rattled up against the wall slightly, but still side by side will go there. As I wanted to go to the inside of Ricciardo, Zhou takes that opportunity himself to try and make something happen, and now we just wait for the Constantina in effect through the hairpin. There plenty of contact coming in from other drivers around us. There is still Zhou not wanting to give up on it. Esteban Ocon, is that you? It almost was there as he taps the inside wall through Portier. Somehow, still side by side. Daniel Ricciardo finally makes the move stick though, as we make our way down in towards the chicane there, and I wanted to look for it. I wanted to go for it on Zhou Guanyu, but certainly not wanting to brave it side by side into there. I think that's just a disaster waiting to happen. Fairly decent start though, up the 1 spot, which I guess we can't be too gutted. But it is still Verstappen that leads at the front of the field, and immediately we've got to see how these tyres are going to adapt. Well, in years gone by then, Monaco actually has ended up being more about a race of looking after the tyres, keeping those temperatures in check, and with the way we've struggled with that in recent races, I think that's going to be more important than ever inside F1 24. I'm just studying those, seeing where Ricciardo and Zhou are strong and perhaps struggling. Annoyingly, the hairpin seems to be the place they're having the most problems around this lap. As through the Rascas we go, we can get a little bit closer again to Zhou. Well, I don't see a world in which he drops out of the range of Ricciardo anytime soon. It is just one of those races.
1 second now, well done. Let's try and get past in the DRS zone.
Immediately, you feel like you're counting down the laps to the end. You just always want this race to be over. Well, already then, starting to struggle, sat in the dirty air of the cars in front. Just actually peeled back a few tenths from Zhou Guanyu to see if it would be any better. Seems like it is, and I mean, we've already used way too much battery early on as well. One of those Ferraris, I believe that's Charles Leclerc, is really causing a train behind him. I'm tempted to box pretty much now, move over to a set of the hards, and then see if we can undercut a few people and make it to the end. Just because, yeah, dirty air around here. It doesn't feel... Monaco's just one of those weird tracks where I think what happens in the game is it kind of works out the dirty air for the car behind you based on your downforce levels. Everyone, of course, is running maxed out wing, so it just feels way more slidey than any other circuit on the calendar. Oh, I feel much more confident in just trying something and not scoring points rather than having a bit of a what-if scenario throughout the rest of the afternoon. A very early pit stop here on the Monaco streets, but hopefully we're going to be able to close back in on the AI fairly quickly. There is Sargent, one of my rivals, is going to go past us, as well as Hulkenberg. He's opted to start this race on the hards.
The left front wheel. I know it's not ideal, mate, but let's try and put it behind us and get back into this race.
Lovely. Seems to happen every other race so far this season. But unfortunately, yeah, we've actually gone back out on mediums, so...
See the penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
That wasn't actually really what I wanted here, but I guess we've got to try and make do with what we got. If George Russell could do 77 laps on mediums, surely so can I.
Okay, mate, we've got some clear track around us now, so let's use it and make this next lap a quick one. Let's go.
did always wonder what the challenges were going to be like around this venue. There's your answer. This, of course, one of the joys of Monte Carlo is the tyre delta deficit can be absolutely massive here. We're going over a second a lap quicker than Hulk.
Hit that target. Really good job. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 11.9 seconds.
So, of course, it is still dependent on when the AI do box in this Grand Prix, but yeah, I'm trying not to push too much on these tyres either. Hopefully, if we can undercut our way inside that top 10, then basically it would just be park the bus for the rest of the afternoon. That might make a few other drivers a bit worried. Then new fastest lap of the day. Verstappen, I'm sure, comfortable out front still. But maybe we could undercut more than just, Ricciardo and Zhou here. Perhaps, the likes of Albon or even Sergio Perez could end up being vulnerable. Still not seen any of the AI into the pit lane then. Admittedly, we're only at 1/3 distance. But I was hoping we actually wouldn't close in on Nico Hülkenberg before we pit. Seems like Sargent now is starting to slow up him and Oscar Piastri. Again, I'm really, really nervous about trying to make moves here. In fact, I'm not even sure it's going to be possible. There we go. We've officially caught back up to Nico Hülkenberg then. He just 8 laps here. Are we going to be able to try and get a run down through the tunnel? I wonder. I think the AI maybe just running slightly less slightly less wing than me. Thought by trying to have a look down the inside there. That's certainly not going to happen. So now we're in real trouble. I mean, if I was Ayu Komatsu, I'm sure I'd be telling Hülkenberg to jump out the way for us on very, very different strategies. And we need to try and find a way through. That's not going to happen, though. It was almost into the back of our teammate. We'll try and switch him in through Larascas side by side into Anthony Noakes there, and a very robust move between myself and our teammate. We had to make it happen. Hülkenberg wasn't just going to give it to me, so we've got it done, but that was scary. Well, I've got to be honest, yeah, this final sector is not normally where I felt I'm strong around this venue, but if we can make more moves, well, I'm not going to not where we're making them. Can we have a look down the inside of Piastri? Yes, we can. Oh, I've never been able to make moves down there. And that one, there was no contact either, which is even better news. Now we've got to try and get around our rival Logan Sargent, but proving once again, F124, you can still make overtakes around the Monaco streets. And I believe it was Valtteri Bottas who made the only move of the day on the track down here. And that's exactly what we're going to do as well. Then down the inside of Logan Sargent will go. 3 cars navigated in just over 2 laps. Next up, Esteban Ocon. Oh, there we go, finally. Finally, first cars into the pit lane then. As we approach half distance, are we going to get ahead of that Merc, who I believe was stuck in the train behind Lance Stroll? No, we're not. Yeah, no, that's Alonso, sorry.
Go now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
Yeah, I got no intention of boxing again, Mark. But yeah, Alonso, 6 seconds up the road then. So I've actually done pretty well compared to him. He's come out as well behind Pierre Gasly, so he might be stuck there for a few more laps if Pierre's on the hards. Even more cars into the pit lane then, so we're starting to get a better idea of where we're going to be out in this Grand Prix. But I think if we can make these tyres last to the end, we're in a pretty good spot. There is Lance Stroll, so we've got the jump on the Aston Martin driver, and he was running up, I think, in like 7th or 8th place here. So once again, Lance Stroll has been an absolute lifeline for us, but he is only 5 seconds back. Well, as we make our way over half distance then, Lance Stroll's actually done me a bit of a favour here. Of course, backed up a load of cars earlier on, which has allowed us to potentially move into a much higher position. It also looks like Hülkenberg is returning that favour to him, because he's now got every other car that Stroll was holding up stuck behind the Haas, and now Stroll's been given some breathing room here. I've got no idea what position we could be in, but I think we're up to like a net P5, P6, which after the weekend at Imola last time out, I would absolutely take. What I won't take is a half spin there, and then immediately getting turned by Lance. What is that? As I think, is Stroll caught on that inside curb? Has he been able to get going again? I don't know, but that might be a safety car. How is that not a safety car, F124? Oh, there we go. Hülkenberg finally makes the call. So does Esteban Ocon then. So we're up now into P8 of this GP. I'm trying to look. Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez running P2 and P3. I believe they've still got a pit again here, as Alex Albon is having a really good day of it as well in Matt Williams. If we could get ahead of them, and Albon could slot in between as well, We could be on for a massive result here. Oh, there we go. Perez and Carlos Sainz both into the pit lane then. Not convinced we're going to be close enough to get the jump. Oh, wait, no, that might be Max Verstappen, sorry, who's in the pit. So has Alonso got the jump? I think Alonso has. I think Fernando Alonso is into the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix. Here is Carlos Sainz then. So we've got the jump on the Ferrari, which is massive for us. Surely that means we'll be ahead of Sergio Perez as well. Carlos, though, is on medium tyres at 20 laps fresher than mine. But Fernando Alonso, the net lead of the Monaco Grand Prix, this is huge. Okay, so I did get my Red Bulls muddled up then, so I believe now net P6 is all we're going to be able to do today if we can hang on from the likes of Carlos Sainz behind. He's got so much grip, though, on those fresh medium tyres there. Around the outside of me, down in turn 1. We've got to give him the room. And Carlos Sainz willing to risk it all. In what world do you think I'm going to win that place back, Mark? Unless I can have a look at the inside up through Massenet. Not happening there. But Alex Albon in that Williams. Hopefully we can defend from him. And yeah, unfortunately I did get it wrong. Verstappen is leading this race. Fernando Alonso is still only P2. I honestly thought Max was Perez and Perez was Max. But that's just how dominant Verstappen has been here so far today.
Pulling away from you at a rate of around 2 seconds a lap. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 16.2 seconds.
Funnily enough, I couldn't care less how much Carlos Sainz is pulling away from me up the road. We are just focused on keeping as many cars at bay as we can. And surely a Williams on clapped out hards is going to be the easiest.
Not like this, mate. Come on, let's keep it clean.
There we go. Another new challenge inside this game. We've got to avoid 2 notable collisions. I don't know what that means. Well, 10 laps to go then here from the Monaco streets. And I must admit at the moment, I'm very much enjoying having Alex Albon as kind of a protection behind me to the rest of the field. All we have to do is use a bit of battery down through the exit of Portier and then out of Anthony Nogues. And we seem to be able to keep the Williams at bay everywhere else. Tyre wear warning light has just flashed up, though. Any other track, you would think we have to pit again. But this is Monaco. Things work very, very differently around this place. So we are still looking to try and get this set to the end.
Box.
No. I really don't want to get our hopes up about Fernando Alonso at the moment. But we're actually closing in on that group at over a second a lap. The medium tyres actually seem to have come back in a little bit in recent laps as we just continue, obviously as the fuel burns off, find a little bit more pace again. Could we get to Sainz before the end of the race? I mean, even if we got there, surely we're not going to be able to have a look for a move or anything. I tell you what, just a handful of laps to go now and these tyres are screaming at us. 73%, everything I just said about having a bit more confidence on them. That's gone out the window. We are now really just trying to hang on. We're getting more locking up, more moments of oversteer or understeer in random parts of the circuit. And now, worse than that, Alex Albon, I think, senses it and is trying to put more pressure on me. You can see we're getting no rotation at all through Upper Mirabeau, just hanging on desperately with the car at the moment. We are now the cause of a big train in this Grand Prix. But if it's worth 6 points, I'll take the 6 points.
Take care, our data's indicating high levels of tyre wear at this stage.
No, it reckons we've got a puncture. With 2 laps to go, we're 100% wear and the tyre's gone. No, right at the end of the Monaco Grand Prix, I can feel it now. It has completely gone from underneath me. We've got to get out of the way of the other cars. We've got to try and stay out of the way as best as we can, but heartbreak.
Right tyre has a puncture.
I cannot believe that. Our first ever puncture inside F124. We're just trying to stay out.
2.8 seconds.
I'm trying to stay out the way as best as I can, but into the pits will come then. I want to make sure we go onto a set of the softs. I cannot believe that. We've been doing so well throughout the entirety of this Grand Prix. I'm not even going to be able to go for fastest lap, am I? Because Verstappen's going to lap me here. I cannot believe it. We threw the gamble. We thought we were going to make it work right until the end of the GP.
Let's go now, come on. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
And as Verstappen starts his final lap of the Monaco Grand Prix, there's no way we get to him and try and unlap ourselves before this race is over. I cannot believe that. I genuinely thought we were going to make it and we were going to score a few points on the board, but everyone else sat behind us. Alex Albon knew if he kept pushing me forward, we were going to be right on the limit with that tyre, and I just looked at it as it went to a puncture. Max Verstappen, though, I mean, really, the mini-map should showcase everything you need to know about the Grand Prix today. Pretty much everyone bunched up in one group, unless you're the Dutchman. Absolutely dominant display once again. He was so far in front that I thought he hadn't made a pit stop yet, but clearly he had. Clearly Max Verstappen in a league of his own, and we're not even going to get to see him cross the line. So stupid, but we are out of the Monaco Grand Prix on the very last lap.
They've done it then. They've won here in Monaco with an emphatic performance and a victory they can be proud of for years to come.
And 3 wins in a row now, of course, thrown the gauntlet down. The drivers are out there now. They realise that they are the target. They're the ones to beat. They've got the energy, they've got the momentum on their side.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves. Well, that certainly was an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Monaco Grand Prix, and I cannot believe how quickly that fell apart in the end. Fernando Alonso hangs on to P2, 41 seconds behind Max Verstappen in the end. But, I mean, you can pretty much see behind him every other car caught in that train there. Russell gets a podium ahead of Perez and both Ferraris there. Albon, 6 massive points for Williams. And I think Ricciardo as well, yeah, has got VCARB's first points of the year. So I believe only Alpine yet the last team to score then. We do technically get classified at the end of the day as well there, and somehow Hulkenberg still able to finish up in last place. Taking a look at the Drivers' Championship, yep, Albon, a huge haul of points for him means he's back ahead of the Canadian there. Verstappen already with nearly a 100-point lead after just 8 races. Kind of says everything you need to know with the way this season is going so far. Alonso rejumps both of those Mercs in the Drivers' Championship, and despite Piastri's bad result, he's still ahead of his teammate there. And yeah, there we go. Only Alpine, the team left to score so far this season. I mean, imagine if we'd made that work. We would have been so close to kick Sauber as well in the Constructors' Championship. But Monaco, this weekend, it has gone away from us. Perhaps I need to change my name away from Mr. Monaco. It seems to be a curse in the last couple of games. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back tomorrow ready for the Canadian Grand Prix.